Well, hey, welcome to the Brian and Jessi Show. We're glad to have you here.
We sure are. Thanks for joining us. Make sure and click that subscribe button so you know what we're doing. And also share it so that your friends can catch it. We would love it. Thank you so much.
Let's talk hillbilly music, shall we, darling?
Just what I was thinking
I know
today.
everybody with us right now has been thinking, I hope they talk about hillbilly music.
I really feel like that's probably the top request of every podcast watcher.
If anybody knows hillbilly music,
it's you.
I promise you. This is my finest hour. I've been waiting for this to come like pop culture again.
Yeah.
It's here.
You're like, I've been waiting for country music to be country again.
100%, right? I've written songs about this. But, all right.
I'm more of a 90s country girl.
I know. I'm more of an outlaw. Really, I'm an outlaw country guy. This is outlaw meets Appalachia.
Which you love.
Which I love.
Yeah.
So
Kentucky boy at heart.
100%. So some of you may have seen it, know it. But Oliver Anthony released it's like my friends in the backyard, right, playing music and singing. So this YouTube,
did you know that's actually not his name?
No, it goes by like Chris or something, right?
No, Oliver's not his name. It's his grandpa's name. It's just Oliver. What is his last name? Oliver Anthony Music. So it's like the name of his music. But that's not his actual name.
Is he like Chris Anthony? Is that correct?
Chris, yeah.
And Granddad was Oliver, and he wrote this music. It's kind of like
in honor of him because he was like an Appalachian guy who was like held down and yeah.
It's an ode to Appalachia. I think he said his
ode to Grandpa.
Grandfather had 1 million kids, raised rough, tough, mountain life up there.
I think 7, not actually 1 million. But
it was 1 million. I'm pretty sure if you go back and do the family tree, at least 1 million of them. There was 1 million of them in a small trailer in Appalachia.
Yes.
I'm sure just eking out an existence. Somebody sent me this video the other morning before it had just started to take off.
Well,
right?
I heard you listening to it in the garage the other night, and I'm like, what is happening in our garage? Because it's so distinct. It's
distinct. If you hear it, the moment I heard it, as soon as I hear his voice, I'm like, yes.
Oh,
I'm all in the moment in because it's just like, and when I saw him, I thought that guy's from Kentucky.
He's
from Eastern Kentucky, but
he's not.
He's Virginia. The moment I saw him, I'm like, that's every dude I ran with from that part of Kentucky growing up with. I thought he's Kentucky or West Virginia.
I think he's
Virginia.
He did some time in North Carolina.
Did a little time in North Carolina.
But honestly, I'm going to be honest about it. I'm not a fan.
Why? You hate... If I like the music, you pretty well hate it.
Yeah, and it's not like I like the content of it, like the story that he tells, and I love the storytelling aspect. The vocalist in me, I just can't get down with it. But people love it, and they are obsessed with him right now, and he is going it's unnatural how fast.
It's blown up.
Yeah.
It's like,
he just was recording it to hope to get 300,000 views.
It blew up so fast, it's like that's one or two things, right? This guy's music went so big so fast, one of two things. It's number one, it's really pulling the heartstrings of the American people.
Which I think is true.
Or number two, right, whoever the nasty internet overlords that pull the strings back there are using this as some sort of op. But it's not that.
Why would they want to give us what we want?
I know, because it's the opposite. But
yeah,
like they do. Like anybody trusts that something that blows up on Facebook is real anymore. After the Elon bought out Twitter and we found out there's a plethora of FBI agents working at Twitter.
Half of the places are bots or something.
It's all federal agents and like Biden campaign operatives. It's like what is what anymore? But we ought to let's play this. I want
okay.
You want to hear it? I know you want to hear it, right?
It is my favorite thing. The favorite sound of my ears.
Here's the warning, because we are pastors and Christians, and right now this guy's got a little language.
Please, I'm a homeschool mom, but all you homeschool moms, don't be emailing me.
Don't be emailing me. I'm not reading them. I don't care. But this is like a message.
We love you.
Yeah, we love you. We're for you. But I think this is how a lot of Americans feel right now.
Yeah, let's go.
Let's play that.
Well, I've been selling my soul, working all day, overtime hours for bullshit pay, so I can sit out here and waste my life away, drag back home and drown my troubles away. It's a damn shame what the world's gotten to for people like me, people like you. Wish I could just wake up and it not be true, but it is. Oh, it is living in the new world with an whole soul. These rich men north Richmond, Lord knows they all just wanna have total control. Wanna know what you think, wanna know what you do, and they don't think you know, but I know that you do. 'Cause your dollar ain't shit, and it's taxed to no end, 'cause the rich men, North of Richmond. I wish politicians would look out for minors, and not just minors on an island somewhere. Lord, we got folks in the street, ain't got nothing to eat, and the obese milking welfare. Well, God, if you're 5'3" and you're 300 pounds, taxes ought not to pay for your bags of fudge rounds. Young men are putting themselves 6 feet in the ground, 'cause all this damn country does is keep on kicking them down. Lord, it's a damn shame what the world's gotten to for people like me, people like you. Wish I could just wake up and it not be true, but it is. Oh, it is. Living in the new world with an whole soul. These rich men north of Richmond, Lord knows they all just wanna have total control. Wanna know what you think, wanna know what you do, and they don't think you know, but I know that you do. 'Cause your dollar ain't shit, and it's taxed to no end, 'cause the rich men, North of Richmond. I've been selling my soul, working all day, overtime hours for bullshit pay.
All right.
Hey, you can't beat a steel guitar. That's one thing you can't beat.
Pretty incredible. All I got to say is Oliver Anthony or Chris Anthony, 2024 for president. That's what I'm saying.
I'm only
Bring
voting.
back red beard. Make America red bearded again.
No, I love it, but I'm only doing it if he brings that dog with him, because that would be the most epic White House dog that has
That
ever
dog's
lived.
pretty epic. I
Can
was
I-
raised with a dog kind of like that.
Okay, now do you guys want to hear what happened to me the other day?
Tell me.
Did not know about this guy's, shoot to fame. Did not know who it was that I was hearing you listen to in the garage the other night. Had no idea about this guy or anything. I was at Lowe's. No, not
Love's.
Love's gas station truck stop on I-40 in a specific West Texas town, Amarillo, Texas. And I had stopped there to grab something. And I looked over, and there was a guy with that exact same dog and that exact same light, like kind of dull red hair, cut just like that, only his beard was just like this guy. And in person, it was like maroon, like this most epic beard I've ever seen. And you were getting gas, and I saw him with this dog getting out of this car, and I looked back, and I was going to be like, hey, babe, check this dude's beard out. It's the coolest beard I've ever seen. But you were busy. So then I come home that night, and I'm scrolling through Facebook, and I'm like, oh, this guy.
It's the dude at the gas station.
He was at Love's truck stop on I-40.
Are you sure it's not just some other red-bearded brother out there pumping gas
it's
with a white dog and a steel guitar, very angry about the current climate of politics?
So I'm pretty sure.
Other issues?
I'm just saying, I'm pretty sure the guy was the exact same guy, which is kind of odd.
Well, Chris, if you could chime in, DM us, let us know
we need to
whether
know.
you were at the Loves in Amarillo, Texas or not within the last week or so. I want to know.
He had like a hatchback vehicle, and I'm going to tell you, I noticed him because of his beard, but then I looked down and he had like tie-dye Crocs on, which I totally feel like would go with this guy's vibe.
No, 100%.
Yeah.
I see that.
Yeah.
Okay, so this thing has gone like massive viral People are pushing it, sharing it everywhere. I first heard it. One of my like friends that would have similar musical taste to me sent it to me, and I'm like, okay, this is for me and 100 of my,
closest friends,
redneck friends from
we
Western
grew up
Kentucky.
with, yeah.
They grew up, in the hills and that kind of thing, doing what we do. But no, this has went everywhere, and it's kind of funny because I'm watching all the people that are digging it. Like online, there's all of these clips of people from every walk of life, like listening to it. So like it's got black guys, middle of big city, right?
Yeah.
That have a obvious urban vibe in their style of music. These guys don't like this kind of music. They're listening to it. And they're like crying. They're like crying.
Well, the thing is,
watching
though, it's like touching the heart of an issue that everybody feels. It's like we're working hard. We're making crap pay. And we can't afford groceries. I mean, I just talked to a mom this morning, and she's like, middle class America. And she's like, I don't even know how people go and buy groceries on a budget. Like, this is insane. And everything's just like exploded in price. The jobs are not as good. You can't just be a good person and make it and have a retirement. Like,
no, and
that's gone. And I think people feel the weight of that.
Everybody feels it. It's why this thing cross culture. Right, across, like you're watching, it's across racial divide, culture, ethnic stuff, socioeconomic stuff.
Yes.
Like you watch all the different people commenting on this video right now. It was shocking to me. It was beautiful. I watched them all comment. There's a collage of a lot of different people responding to it, and they're so different.
Yeah.
Right. Everybody's so different, but they're so they feel it. So they all feel it.
It's like a common thread.
Listen, I watched the thing. I cried watching it because it was like, wow, America is hurting.
Yeah.
And this guy tapped into it. He's kind of haunted, right? You watch, he's a haunted feeling.
Well, even
soul.
whenever he goes on, he's like, hey, this took off faster than I thought, and I don't think anybody actually knows me or my real name because that's not my name, and I'm just not even that great a guy. He's like, I work and go home and like drown my anxiety and depression in alcohol, and I'm not that great. But then he has this like also this place which a lot of artists do where there's like a deep compassion for people and an empathy. It's not just for him. I think he's moved for the nation as well.
He's felt it.
And he's felt it, and he said that he goes around and sells some kind of farming equipment, and so he's
farming or manufacturing,
maybe manufacturing, but some kind of equipment, and so he's talking to like the local blue collar worker all day long and hearing their frustration. So he wrote this song based not just on his experience, but on the voice that he hears every day, which is a legitimate voice. And in America, a blue collar worker should be able to be heard. They should be able to vote if they own land and they work hard and they're paying their taxes. Their voice should matter in our nation.
100%.
And it feels like you put your vote in, and then the oligarchies decide what's going to happen to you anyway. And it's a frustration in the heart of man.
What it is it's populist pain, and populist pain can give birth to political uprisings.
Yes.
And that's what you're seeing right here. That's an expression of populist pain that's taken a real form that people connect with, and those kind of things.
I think this is one of the last places that people can use to let their voice be heard.
Well, you think
in
about
the arts, they can vote for the right song.
They
Does
can
that make
say some
sense?
stuff in the arts and not. What's funny is they immediately try to cancel this guy because his message is pretty much like the way
Who's trying to cancel him?
Oh, well, like they're going after him. The Rolling Stone wrote negative articles. All of the leftists, like,
nobody
hit
cares what the
job
Rolling
pieces,
Stone says about anybody.
but
They're liars.
they all have the power to
Oh,
start
yeah.
moving on you and canceling you.
If
right?
they say it, you can just assume it's just the opposite.
Well, you know whatever they say it's the Rolling Stone. They're
Yeah.
the dregs of society, right?
They really are.
What a bunch of losers. They're the people that pulled against the sound of freedom.
Right?
They write like they're the pro-pedophilia outlet, I guess, these days. Is that they should speak for themselves. Rolling Stone, you should let us know. We want to know.
Why are you pro-pedophilia?
Why are you pro-pedophile? I mean, what about some clarity? But they go after this guy. Here's why. He's saying he talks about complications with like inflation.
Yeah.
Right, and he says so tactfully, your dollar ain't fecal matter. We'll say it like that. You watch the downgrade of the dollar, and the dollar's buying power just swirling down the toilet during this administration. Currently, they're trading oil. Forever it was the petrodollar. That's what made us Americans able to leverage the way we could.
And now
Our
it's
dollars
not.
went further because the Saudis would only sell Saudi oil for dollars. And now that thing is gone. And they just made a big deal about, I forgot what country it was that sold their first oil in another currency.
Oh, got it.
But it's out there and it's pretty famous, and it's a deal. So you got the BRICS nation, right? Which is, what is that? That's Brazil, Russia, India, China, somebody else that they're saying.
India completes first crude oil payment to UAE.
And what did they pay in? Did they pay in the rupee?
Rupees.
Okay, they paid in the rupee, which that says if the UAE is selling oil, not in the dollar. I don't think most Americans understand. Like, we feel inflation right now. The dollar's been downgraded a couple of times.
It's coming like a beast.
But that dollar's so important because it's the only thing you can get oil with. And if all those dollars are out there everywhere in the world, they're just everywhere, dollars floating around to buy oil, and they don't need those dollars anymore to buy oil, all those dollars where are they coming back to? They're coming home. And when they all hit this nation at one time, what's that mean? There's surplus dollars everywhere. That means a dollar isn't worth, like he says, your dollar ain't crap. And so he feels
Well,
that.
also, I mean, from a Christian perspective, just give you a little pastoral input here. This is the reason that God has asked us to trust him with our finances.
Amen.
And not idolize or use idolatry with money. Let money does not become our God, because it can't be a good God. It rises and falls, and everybody got so comfortable with America being so strong, but that's just
Cash is king, right?
cash is king.
Apparently
no,
not.
Jesus is king. Still king.
Hey.
He still is.
This is proof that cash ain't king, but Jesus
That's
is.
right. And that's why God says, test me in this with your tithe. Like, people want to fight the tithe. I'm like, I'm not fighting the tithe. I'll give you my tithe, God. I want to participate in bringing it back to you and showing you that I trust you every single week.
Yeah.
I trust you with our success, with our ability to provide for our family, with us being able to eat, have a roof over our heads. All of the things, only God can do that. But we think we can work and make enough money to do it. And if you have that perspective, his depressive language and the attitude behind that song is the only place you can go with it.
Right.
Because you don't have anything else to do. And I think that that's the gorgeous thing about Christianity, is that we then have a hope beyond what people can get, you know?
Listen, I believe this. We're covenant people. We're in covenant with God. We're Christians. And so my hope is not in the U.S. economy. My hope is not in the dollar. My hope is not in Wall Street. My hope is not in the Chicago Board of Trade.
No.
My hope is in the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords. And he is the one that's going to bless and keep us and lift us. So we believe this. We believe even if the country we're living in is falling apart, even if the country's cursed, we're still blessed because we're in Christ. But this guy nailed it, the feeling, and what
He
people
did.
are feeling right now.
Yes.
That's why it took
It's
off.
incredibly accurate.
Second thing the guy really nailed, I think, is he nailed, the Richmond, North of Richmond.
Ah, yeah.
They all want total control.
Yes,
That's what
they
he
want
says.
to know where you are, and
Know what you think, know what you
think,
do.
what you do. And he says you don't want to think they do, but they do.
Yeah, he's just talking about.
Or you don't want us to think that you know, but you do know.
Yeah, it's the surveillance state's what he's talking about.
Absolutely. This is more traumatizing than the dollar for me. This.
Oh well, yeah.
The surveillance state situation. And if you don't think they're surveilling you, like, I don't know if you've been paying attention to anything.
They're collecting all your data. All your data is
every
they got it all.
piece of data. And people say, well, I don't use credit cards on the internet, so I'm okay.
You have no idea.
Yeah, like there is a camera everywhere. They are tracking everything. Some people are like on TikTok and they don't even know that in the rules of that app that they say we can literally, by you signing on here, we can go into anything that you do and anything that you say, and cross-platform, not just on TikTok, on anything that you have. They are now given legal right to jump in and harvest information from you. Data is one of the highest ways of, it's the most power. It is everything right now. And so I think that that's one of the scariest things, even whenever you have kids and you're like, I don't want to give out too much info about them. I don't want to give out too much, and it's like they are not like when we were young, people didn't know when we were born, where we were, where we went to school, what our emotions were. You know what I mean? All the things they're tracking us with. They even can see your heart rate, when your heart rate goes up, when your heart rate goes down,
iPhone,
when your blood pressure's up, when people are wearing the watch. It tells them when you get angry, what makes you angry. They're videoing and recording everything that's happening around you and advertising accordingly. And the other day, I literally just thought of something. Thought of it. Never said a word. And an hour later, it advertised it to me. And I'm not sure how that happens.
You didn't Google search it before?
I did not. But I'm just telling you, it goes deeper than it. Obviously, I cannot prove that, but I'm just telling you.
I just thought of it.
I'm telling you, it was a thought that was passing, and it was something odd that I was looking at. I mean, thinking about, and then all of a sudden
it shows up.
Yeah, it advertised it to me.
Well, it is. We live in a surveillance state. We were raised in a free environment. I'm 45. You are 27, and so we were raised in a free world. We had some anonymity, right? We had our own stuff. You didn't go bringing cameras to parties. When I was a kid,
I didn't go to parties. I was a Christian.
You were a Christian. I wasn't, and we did it all. And if you would have walked in to one of our parties with a camera back then, because, we were doing coke and all kinds of stuff like that, we would have issued you a beating.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, like, you may not get out alive if we catch you with a camera.
Listen, I was from a small Christian school, but I still know you didn't come hauling a camera into places.
Into a party,
yeah,
right?
I mean,
into somebody's private area. So now that's all gone, and they're used to being surveilled, and they've trained a generation to be familiar with the Ministry of Truth, 1984.
We surveil ourselves.
And, yeah, we're Orwellian, and we're complicit with it, right?
Absolutely.
So, but what happens with its data? I mean, where's it going? And this guy touches on it, and he specifically targets a town, the Richmond North of Richmond, right? He's talking about D.C.
Sure.
And so I think the normal American can tell that the people that live in D.C. do their thing. They're so disconnected from middle America and guys like this that are just trying to make a living. I'm from a coal mining town, which pretty much D.C. is dismantled already. We were dismantled under the Obama administration. Just the coal industry took such a beating. And they really don't care. I'll just say it. They don't care at all about us.
Well, you can even
They don't care about middle America. We're what they call white trash, expendable blacks. They do not care about middle America, and they don't care about you unless you're in their sphere and you're their kind.
Well, I mean, you can hear people talk in a lot of large cities on the coastlines, and especially in that D.C. political world, and you hear them talk about the blue-collar workers that were our fathers, uncles, cousins, that we love, that we respect because they got up every morning, went to work, fed their family, and worked hard. And you hear them.
They didn't just feed their family, they fed America.
Of course.
They built everything that matters.
Yes. And you hear them talk about those people with if they have a Southern accent, and to hear them mock.
Or Midwestern or just those kind of people.
Just to hear them mock I almost just, even though it's not my favorite voice, I said it's not my favorite kind of music. I love it that this song has such a twang to it because it's like in your face. This is who we want to be. We're not looking to change to get you to like us. You know what I mean? The sound of it is so beautiful because it's like it's just a stick it to them. Like this is what
it's a certain people. Everything you hate about us, well.
We hate things about you too.
There's a lot we hate about you. But you think about the power these people have amassed.
There's a
right?
war.
Outside in the suburbs around D.C., all that part of the world, it's a different world. And it's a ruling caste. And they've been manipulating the rest of the nation for so long, it just goes with the territory.
Yeah.
Right? These are the people who butter their bread with the profits from the military-industrial complex. They need a war. Right? They don't care about the American populace. You know whose kids go to war?
They're not sending their kids
They're
anyway.
not sending. Listen, the children of privilege don't die on battlefields. It just doesn't happen. You know who dies? Guys like that redheaded dude with the beard singing that song and all the people he grew up with. Mm-hmm. That's who goes to war and dies. All right, so if it was the oligarch class, if they had to send their sons and daughters to war, they wouldn't be screaming so loud right now about funding the Ukraine and getting us into some sort of nuclear conflict with Russia.
No.
Why do they not care? Well, their sons aren't going anywhere. Whose kind of kids do? Normal folk from the middle of America.
Yes.
So I think there's a populist heartbeat that says, listen, we don't care what your lobbyists say. We don't care about your big pharma lobbyists, right, running the world. We're tired of you sticking it to us. And he talks about what a shame it is. And I think this sets,
I love it. He says, you don't care about our minors. You just care about minors.
Yeah, he said minors on an island.
Minors on an island somewhere. And that is, because it's a hit to Epstein, you know?
Sure it is.
And that is the most creative line in the song, I think.
Yeah.
I just think the way he says it, it's like you're destroying us and lining your pockets and you're evil.
Well, here's the deal. The American dream, right? Who we are as a people, it wasn't that long ago. Let's say my grandfather, he'd be 100 if he was still alive. My dad's dad, right? Or over. Like, during his day, you could make a living with one person working in a household. The man could go out, work a good job. He could pay off his house, right? Get a retirement. Maybe have a farm, something nice. One income household. And it was some ease to the American family unit. You had somebody at home to take care of kids and house. Well, it's not like that anymore. It's everybody scrambling to try to make ends meet. Fuel keeps getting higher. Milk keeps getting higher. At some point, the American populace can't take it anymore. And a lot of them just flat checked out after COVID.
Yes.
Because they're creating a welfare system. He talked about that in the song.
Yes.
Right? About people milking the system, taking advantage of the system. And I think that good, hardworking people want to be rewarded for their labor, and you need a system that rewards them.
It's almost like, I think that's the reason COVID hit so hard and in a way and affected our culture so desperately, is because people were so tired. Because every person in the home is running to make enough money, and they're not getting the joy or the reward of being with their family very often, or their children, or their spouse. And they're exhausted and running to the next thing, the next thing, the next thing. And you need more money. The more things you got to have the more money. And, then they have to work more. And it's just this rat race. And they've sold to us that we love being busy and we love being exhausted and we love working. And women, you can, be anything that you want to be. And I'm power to the women person. I have no problem with that. I'm in no way, shape, form, or fashion a feminist. But I am I love it when everyone
competent
succeeds.
Women.
Competent women doing competent work and getting equal pay. I am for that. I love that, right? But I also see the side where it's just like the family is stressed. They are spread thin. They are hungry. And in saying hungry, you're like, well, America is like some of the most overweight population in the world. Yeah, they're not getting any nutrients. They're just getting food. So I think our bodies are nutrient deficient. Our minds are stressed. Our time schedule is, and what they did was say, don't worry about it. Everything's shut down. We'll take care of everything and you stay home. And people like us that have spent a lot of time, for underground church in communist nations, it woke us up like, oh my gosh, what are they doing to us? No. Open everything up. Open the church. Open us. We got to get out there. We got to move. It startled us into action. But for the majority of the American population, it lulled them to sleep because they were like, oh, finally, someone's going to give me a break.
Yeah, people took the vacation time. And what they didn't realize is they were taking everything you own while you took your vacation.
Yeah.
Even culturally, nationally, like China, the CCP, we'll say it like that. The CCP, while we were slumbering and they said the whole world's got to lock down, they sent their workers all over the world. They did that, and they were building infrastructure in all sorts of emerging markets. So they built the Pan-Asian Highway? All the way across Asia,
yeah.
Right? Like we go up and are around some friends in Asia for ministry. You go over there now, and the CCP's built stuff everywhere.
Yes, they have.
Right? Now you're seeing Chinese advertising
Everywhere.
billboards. It was never over there in Southeast Asia. Now
They
it's
own it.
everywhere.
Yeah.
I was somewhere in Latin America. I think it was in Costa Rica. We preached, so I know that sounds funny. Where was I at? Don't you remember? Well, we travel a lot, and this massive structure down in Latin
It
America.
might have been Colombia.
No, I wasn't in Colombia. I think I was in Costa Rica.
Okay.
I think I was there. I think I was dropping somebody off at a rehab.
Great job.
What I was doing, I was putting somebody in a rehab that wouldn't take in an American rehab. That's when you partied pretty hard when they won't take you in an American rehab, and you got to take them to a foreign rehab. And so
listen, even
I've
if you
done
need
it.
to go to a Costa Rican rehab, Jesus loves you.
He loves you.
He'll
and I
pull
love
you up.
I'll take you there personally. But
That's
I'm
right.
telling you, you went next level, baby. If I got to take you to
You
a
know what I
foreign
love though? The other
rehab.
day we went to a celebration for that same guy. And he's gotten his life
Yeah, his
together.
life's together. He's doing good.
So,
But while
I
I
love
was
that.
there, there's this massive complex, and they're like, "Look at this." I'm like, "Man, who built that?" Because you could tell money was poured on this project. I forgot if it was like a
they
big
usually
sports
look super
stadium.
modern, too.
It looks super modern.
It looks different
It
from the
looked like something
landscape.
they're building in Vegas right now, like the big ball they're projecting on. Oh yeah, the Chinese built that for us. I'm like, well, isn't that nice? Of
They
the
are so sweet.
CCP, they're so benevolent. They never stop giving. I mean, they're happy to build stuff all over Latin America. They're happy to build stuff all in the Caribbean. Wait a minute, they're happy to buy up land all around like U.S. Air Force bases.
The CCP is
They're
so
happy.
generous.
They're happy to put special labs in California, and I hear they're so sweet they'll even put like CCP type police stations in our nation.
I heard that.
I heard they're so nice. They'll send thousands of military-age young men through our southern border. Right? So here we all sat slumbering through 2020, 2021, whatever. You know what they're doing? They're getting aggressive, taking over the world.
They were definitely not, what is it called, in place? I don't even remember.
They were. Yeah, what did you call that? Something in place?
I
forgot.
Can y'all remember over there something?
Little mask.
Shelter in place. Yes.
The CCP's like, we're taking your place. We're not shelter in place. So I think the American knows, like, we're on our heels right now, and we desperately need
To get on
something
our
to wake
toes.
it up. We need to get back on our toes. And so that's a wake up to work ethic for America, I think. I think it's definitely, we're not going to fix this with a political deal.
No.
I don't think there's a political remedy for who we are. And
There's
where we
no
are.
earthly savior that can fix this.
No, we need Jesus.
Jesus.
We need a revival.
We
and we
need
help.
And by a revival, I don't mean we didn't stop preaching for 2 days and somebody worshiped for 5 straight days. I mean a revival where people get so desperate for God that nothing else matters but to meet him in the throne room. You know what I mean? And they get saved, born again, give their whole life over to him. Begin to say, God, our money belongs to you. Our time belongs to you. We're going to seek you, because the Bible says those who seek him will find him if they search for him with all their heart. And if you don't search for him with all your heart, you'll never find God. Like, it's not just going to church on Sunday. It's giving him your whole life. And it is literally the only thing that is saving the Chinese people that are in that nation that are being oppressed. A huge revival.
Oh yeah, there's
Underground revival.
The underground church is grown.
And it is the only thing that will save America. And we're due one last great awakening so that Jesus can come back. And when we've preached the gospel to the whole world, then he can. And we have to get involved in that. We've got to get involved in the preaching of the gospel to the whole world, you know. Man, if you're listening today and you're not a part of that pursuit, you better jump in head first, because I'm telling you, it is the only thing. I literally sat somewhere the other day and heard someone say the most insane thing I've ever heard them say. I've listened to insane things my whole life, and definitely our whole ministry. People say wild things to us, and I hear crazy things. But someone literally said in a public venue in front of me, Donald Trump is the only person that can save America.
Oh yeah.
And I was like looking around, and there were people like, yeah. And I'm like, what in the world just happened? Like, what are we even talking about? And these people were supposed to be smart people. And I realized really fast, like, God bless him. Donald Trump can't save America. Biden can't save America. An Obama can't save America. Nobody can say. Jesus is the only person in the entire universe.
100%.
He is the God of all gods, the King of all kings, the master of everything. And if we'll pursue him and invite him, he's going to give us one last move of God. I believe that with all my heart. And we're going to see things change. And it won't be a human being that brought any salvation.
America needs Jesus.
Yeah.
I did notice this young man, Oliver, right? So, or that's his granddad's name. He opened up. He had a show after this thing came out, right? Like at a farmer's market or something.
Yeah.
1,000 people showed up.
He said,
out
that's
there.
funny. My last show only had 20 people
At
at
20
it.
people, this one had 1,000. It's like, what a difference a day makes.
Yeah.
So he opens it up, and I saw people taking videos where he cracked open the book of Psalms.
Yes, he did.
And he read a psalm. And I forgot what psalm it was, but it was a psalm about justice, and it was a psalm about the wicked, almost like an oppressive, wicked ruling caste.
Yes.
So it was very interesting. See that God's doing something in the hearts of Americans.
I believe that.
Yeah. Here's what we would love for you to do. We would love for you to like this podcast, subscribe, share it somewhere, and let people know that God's for them. We're for them. We hope big things are coming for you.
Absolutely.
Hey, my name's Brian Gibson. My wife Jessi and I are shooting this podcast together because we've been helping people in every area of their life for over 20-something years as pastors, and we want to do it on a daily basis and come to you live.
Well, I will tell you this. There is nothing you can buy on MyPillow that wouldn't be a great gift. If you're doing Mother's Day, Father's Day, birthdays, you've got an aunt that has a graduation this right now. Any event is a great time for a MyPillow product.
And I can't think of another business guy who's put his life, his name, his business on the line more than Mike Lindell. He's got pillows, he's got sheets, he's got slippers, he's got America running through his blood. You ought to support Mike anyway. I'm all for him.
Make sure that you go to mypillow.com and use Gibson Podcast as your promo code to get your discount today and to support all that we're doing right here on our podcast. Well, not only do I go to the grocery store and buy food for my family at double the rate that I used to, but I see inflation all around me with friends and coworkers that are consistently, trying to find a way to save money, to find a new place to purchase this or to purchase that, because everywhere you go, things are higher. Gas, milk, eggs, every single thing that you touch, the price is so much different than it was just even a little over a year ago.
People ask me often about investments. Where would they put their money? Where would it be safe? I have bought some precious metals, some gold, some silver, mainly because I understand that these things are happening. And I know as long as I have that, right in the book of Genesis, it said that God put gold in the hills of Havilah, and the gold of those hills was good. So I know that God calls gold good. I want to encourage you to go to bh-pm.com, bh-pm.com, schedule a consultation today, and tell them that the Gibsons sent you.
Before we let you go today, I want to mention our new book, Love Handles. You are going to love this. Something to hold on to for your life. Listen, if you are in the best marriage ever, you need the book. If you are in a marriage that's totally jacked up, you need the book. If you have a niece, a nephew, a grandchild that's about to get married, they need the book. And if you've been married 1,000 years, you need the book. And this is why we made it super easy to read. I'm getting testimonials from all over the place, all over the country saying, we read it in one night. We read it while our kids were at soccer practice. We read it in one day. It changed our life. It's great. 10 chapters to change your marriage. And I'm just telling you, you need this in your life because everyone's marriage can use a little help. And some of our marriages can use a lot of help. So we want to make sure to get this in your hand. LoveHandlesBook.com, LoveHandlesBook.com. You can order it there. We would love for you to read it. Brian and I wrote it together from a male and female perspective, and it's going to change your life.
Well, hey, I'm Pastor Brian Gibson. Thank you so much for listening to the Brian and Jessi Show. It's great to have you today.
I'm Jessi, and we're so glad that you joined us. Don't miss the next one. We'll see you then.